2021 is the year of the Speedster, finally. And yeah, I'm writing this in early December. We've still got some superhero stuff left and The Matrix, but I don't expect much from Hawkeye or Spider-Man in terms of speedy characters, unless Big Will's the sixth member of the Sinister Six, which, I'll make a whole video about that if that's true. So I feel pretty confident declaring that we did it. Woohoo, we did it. It happened. We did it. Me, you, everybody, we did it. We all did it. I'm so proud of us because we did it. Two years ago, I made a video discussing why I believe speedsters in movies were broken. Short version, there's too much slow in speedsters and not enough fast. And at the end of that video, I listed off a few speedsters I was particularly worried about who would get their own movies or shows in the next few years, warning that we need to get this right by giving the Wachowskis a Flash movie. And that has not happened yet, but 2021 has seen more speedsters on the big and small screen than ever before, and I'm happy to say they're all pretty great in their own way. First of all, elephant in the room, the word speedster is incredible. It is used to refer to characters from comics or movies or TV that have some sort of ability that lets them run much faster than the average person. They don't need to be faster than the speed of light, but supersonic's usually the low bar. Now, a speedster is traditionally described as having powers primarily related to super speed, and I'll definitely mention all those. However, this year everyone was getting in on the love. Plenty of Superman-like or just plain Superman characters used super speed as part of their arsenal, so I'm counting those too. So without further ado, I want to give some credit to the characters that made 2021 the most speedstery year in history. First up, Makari is amazing. It is a miracle. I saw this movie at a drive-in, so I don't know what the crowd's reactions were like, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I've got to bet it's got a real reaction from the audience because I loved it. I remember seeing that trailer that showed Makari bounding at super speed for half a second and feeling hope. And you guys felt that same hope. I saw that online, lots of comments on my old Speedster video. And then wow, Lauren Ridloff's Makari had what felt like a total of maybe a minute of super speed in that movie. It was easily the coolest live-action super speed fighting I have ever seen. And one of the most fun parts of the fight was that Makari knew what she was doing. Many of the characters in the finale made it clear that, while it's been a while, they have been training for and imagining this moment for a long time. And she did all the cool things a movie speedster should do. She zipped around, saved people, grabbed someone and dragged them at super speed, did a bunch of fast punches, made a dust tornado, did big sonic boom blast things. It's fantastic. You can see some of the behind the scenes footage of how they made it work. A lot of Ridloff's physicality on set was more practical than you'd expect. They used a wire rig to swing Ridloff around to give Makari the illusion of maintaining a lot of momentum before a complete stop. My only gripe was that there wasn't more of her. Maybe that's a mistake on my part. Maybe more time would have ruined the fun, but it's clear that Marvel was pulling out all the stops with Makari, and I would love to see more speedsters in the MCU. Second, Zack Snyder Justice League Flash is way better. And on the DC side, Zack Snyder's Justice League gave Flash a bunch more cool speedster things to do. Did I like Flash in the original? Not really. I thought his vibe felt like a pretty direct ripoff of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which was especially strange since I wouldn't say that's traditionally part of Barry Allen's characterization. And he didn't get any terrific action scenes, no big moments where we got to enjoy Flash's super speed. He felt very much like an afterthought during every fight. And Flash kept getting injured, tripping, getting shot, so he couldn't contribute in a more significant way. It was a bummer. And while by no means do I think Zack Snyder's Justice League was perfect, I think Flash got 3 big upgrades. First, he did get a time in a bottle sequence with the car accident, but I do really appreciate a few details. Breaking the window in super speed was cool. I loved how his shoes exploded off his feet, and I really appreciated how his footprints destroyed the concrete underneath his feet. I feel like the team behind that scene thought it through. How would someone moving at super speed affect the environment? And the answer is, he'd destroy it. The force he's outputting would need to go somewhere, and in this case, it goes through his feet onto the street. It's a neat detail. Then there was this very short moment where Flash catches a bunch of falling debris before it hits the Star Lab scientist. That shot put us in the scientist's shoes. Barry's moving so fast that it's difficult to make out what's happening at all. You can just see single images of Barry popping in and out. It fits into Snyder's framing of these characters as having an inhuman, borderline godly amount of power. And then in the finale, Barry runs so fast that he goes backwards in time. Well, this bit does sort of feel like the usual Speedster slow-mo. The image of the ground reforming under Barry's feet, that's new. Barry runs so fast that the world stitches itself back together. And we do use some of the slow-mo to appreciate the physicality of Barry running. Details like that are where Zack Snyder tends to shine. And then on top of that, Barry is moving. We aren't watching him goof around like Sonic or Quicksilver. He is in motion, running. And while that may seem like the same thing we were used to, the distinction is important. Time in a Bottle tends to lose some of the drama. Since the character does not need to exert themselves, we as the audience don't read it as dangerous. It's just fun. But Barry is giving it all he's got. There are stakes. This matters. Third, Flash got his gold boots. I don't watch this show anymore, but the marketing team was very excited to point out that Flash has gold boots now. So, good for them, I guess. It's hard to find gold shoes, let alone boots. Fourth, Quicksilver's back. Easy to forget, but this year we also got some Quicksilver in the form of WandaVision. Ralph Bohner pretended to be Quicksilver, and it was pretty good. Doubt we'll see him again, but who knows? And I really enjoyed watching Quicksilver be fast in real time here. The effect was imperfect in a way that fit the 2000s aesthetic of his episode. He also got to wear his dopey comic costume. And I think Pietro's characterization in this show is very true to the Pietro I know and love from the X-Men comics. He annoys the hell out of everybody. He is impetuous. He doesn't listen to Wanda, and he thinks he's awesome. As a big fan of Pietro in comics like Peter David's X Factor, I feel like Pietro's dynamic with Wanda felt like it was right out of that book. Granted, this version is a little less self-serious. I only wish there was a clear future for Pietro in the MCU, although, anything's possible. Number 5, Red Rush and Omni-Man are cool. Invincible. My favorite show of 2021, one of the best adaptations of a comic book property I have ever seen, with some absolutely spectacular voice acting, and some really excellent speedsters. First of all, you've got Red Rush, the Russian Flash pastiche. He gets to lead off what is probably the most memorable action scene in the entire series. He even does that thing where a speedster tries to stop a Superman type who is handily beating the entire team, and the speedster does okay, but eventually the Superman takes a breath, concentrates, and catches the speedster. We almost got that in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but then Superman got distracted. Red Rush also demonstrates the defensive capabilities of a speedster who knows what they're doing. During the Omni-Man fight, he's extremely useful as a last-minute rescue. Since he seems to be faster than Omni-Man, Red Rush is able to grab teammates at the last second before Omni-Man hits them and rushes them to safety. Unfortunately, Red Rush makes the criminal mistake of leaving defense and going on offense, giving Omni-Man the opening he needs to crush Rush. Also, Omni-Man and Invincible were super speedy. Like I said, I wouldn't classify them as speedsters since that's not their main power, but they did a good job of illustrating how a Superman-like character using super speed as just a usual part of their arsenal makes them incredibly difficult to deal with. Number 6, A-Train got a song. I love the marketing team behind The Boys. They created a set of fake news reports that acted as Vought propaganda and released them online as if they were real. They also made a Vought Plus announcement video which went live on Disney Plus Day. The Boys marketing team has also produced 2 full music videos for songs that exist in the universe of the show. You can watch the video for Never Truly Vanished, the memorial song in honor of Translucent, who died on a mission and not in the back room of a restaurant, and then A-Train, the team's speedster, gets a song as part of his short-lived retirement called Faster. And honestly, it's not too bad. The Boys has consistently been committed to fully realizing speedsters in live action. One of my favorite episodes of the show centers around a race between A-Train and Sonic Boom that is framed like a traditional sporting event. And plus, A-Train is kind of responsible for the events of the show, so if you think about it, thanks for The Boys, A-Train. Number 7, Superman and Lois is good. Not exclusively a speedster, but the fight scenes in Superman and Lois do a great job of incorporating Superman's super speed into the action. Specifically, this fight scene from episode 3 shows Superman trying out a bunch of different powers on the villain, including knocking him around in super speed. There's also the bank robbery in Mexico where Superman primarily uses super speed to knock out those guards. It's just a really well put together effect, and that show's terrific. Number 8. There was a time stop guy in Space Jam 2, but he died. I'm pretty sure I saw Space Jam 2, I did a podcast on it, and at some point I kind of remember maybe one of the characters being some sort of clock man who could do a time stop, and he did a time in a bottle moment. And then I want to say the granny used old lady powers on him, so then he got really old and it didn't work. So cool. I don't know where I was going with this. Also, I have a note here that says check Boss Baby 2 for Speedsters. I don't know if there were any, but probably not. All in all, what a wonderful year to be a fan of Speedsters. And next year, we got a Flash movie coming. We got Morbius, who I guess maybe has some sort of super speed. More The Boys, more Invincible, more Superman and Lois, I think. Black Adam. League of Super Pets has a Speedy Turtle. And there are probably a bunch of things I didn't even mention, like, I don't know, Young Justice, Jupiter's Legacy, whatever. Things I haven't seen. Not that I don't think they're any good, I just haven't seen them. There are only so many hours in the day, and I'm really getting into Succession. I'm sorry. No, I'm not apologizing. I'm sure I'd like Young Justice. I've seen the first couple of seasons. Just the first episodes of the newer season didn't grab me when it came back on HBO, and I kind of forgot about it. But I don't know, maybe I'll give it another chance. I think Zatanna's in the newer season. I really do like her, so I don't know. It'll happen eventually. And those are all the things I can think of. If you can think of someone I forgot, throw them in the comments. And let's hope in 2022, Hollywood fixes something else that they've always been, not great at. Like, I don't know, maybe it's going to be video game movies. That's something Hollywood has always had trouble with, and they have some interesting ones coming out next year. Sonic 2, Uncharted, Borderlands. Maybe this will be the year. And I love video games. I actually made a video that you can only find on Nebula, where I talk about the intro to one of my favorite games, Saints Row 4. If you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. That video is exclusively on Nebula. But I know you're thinking, hey, this sounds like the sponsor segment, but this video was sponsored by CuriosityStream. Yes, that is true. We at Nebula have created a bundle that lets you get a year of CuriosityStream's high-quality documentary content about things like squirrels and swords and measurement. There's a new series I was watching called Precision, where they talk about time. Speaking of speedsters, how do we know how fast they are? When did we even figure out what time is and how to measure it and how to measure length and why are time and length so connected? That is all explained in this documentary, which is very cool. So you get access to CuriosityStream and Nebula for less than $12 a year. That's not $12 a month, $12 a year. You can watch all my videos ad-free, and you can watch a bunch of videos by me that are only on Nebula, like my new one on Saints Row 4. Sign up for a free trial. Go to curiositystream.com/NandoVMovies, NANDOVMOVIES. As always, I have to give a huge thank you to everyone who continues to support the channel on Patreon. Also, thank you to everybody who listens to our podcast, mostly Nitpicking, and everyone who follows me on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all those platforms where I am NandoVMovies on all of them. That's all I got. Stay safe. See you next time.